On this episode of the Comic Blast podcast, Grayson and I give a quick movie review for 1917, talk about the first trailer for Morbius, and discuss Scott Derrickson leaving the Doctor Strange sequel. All of that coming up next.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get hurt? Consider this mercy. I am inevitable.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Comic Blast podcast. My name is Keenan, one of the hosts of the podcast. Joining me, as always, is Grayson. What's up, Bo?
What's up? What did you just call me?
I said, what's up, boy?
Oh, boy, I thought you said Bo. I was like, that.
What's up, boo?
What's up, boo? I'm a little uncomfortable, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Did my mic cut out or something?
Maybe. I don't know. By the way, in case people don't know, like we record this online, so sometimes there's like audio hiccups and it can cause like weird problems, but it's funny after the fact, but we normally fix it.
It's worth it.
But no, I'm doing great. I'm sick. I got sick over the weekend, but I'm feeling better now. I'm just very nasally sounding.
Yeah.
I sound like Heath Ledger's Joker. Like I can do a great impersonation, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to embarrass myself.
And here we go.
Actually, no, I have to. It's not about the money.
Holy
it's
crap.
It's about sending a message.
That's actually really good. Okay,
Really?
I didn't know. I had no idea you had that in you. That's really good. I like that.
Well, thank you. I used to do voice impressions all the time back when I was a kid, and that was like what I wanted to do. But yes, I'm doing great. I'm wearing my Spider-Man PS4 shirt, which makes me want to play Spider-Man PS4. It's been a long time. I want to play that game, so I'm kind of in that mood right now.
You've
You've
beat the game one time?
One whole time.
Man, that blows my mind because I've went through it probably a dozen times by now.
Yeah, I have this problem where if I have a hard time replaying things or rewatching things because I'm like, I could be using this time to watch or play something that I have not played already. So, like if I'm watching like a movie that I've seen 1,000,000,001 times, I'm like, oh, I love this movie so much, but like I could be, using this to watch a movie that I've never seen before, or, I'm replaying through a certain video game and I'm like, if I go back and play Spider-Man, I'm like, I could be using this to play the the BioShock games, which I've never played. Please do not hate me. I'm sorry. BioShock 1 is aged not well. Sorry. So yeah, that's kind of that complex that I have. But
I get that. I kind of get that way with movies. Video games, I can replay them for the most part.
Yeah.
If it was like a fun and kind of like seamless, process.
I mean, like if it wasn't like sometimes, just with me wanting to go into games journalism and just feeling like or even just with everything, like I feel like I have to be in the know with everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, like I have to play this game. I have to play this game because it's getting such good reviews or whatever. Which like, if I wasn't going into that, I probably would, not play as many games. But then again, I'm also older, so like I play a lot more games, and it's just a great passion of mine. Like video games are like my favorite medium when it comes to just really anything, any type of art. Yes, video games are an art form. Don't at me.
Sure, I agree. Anyways, guys, if you're new to the podcast or if this is your first time listening or maybe it's your second time listening and you haven't subscribed or followed us yet on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to do so. It helps us out. Let us know that you're listening. You can feel free to message us anytime on Twitter or Instagram. We're pretty much always talking to you guys through there. Speaking of those platforms, you can follow us at Comic Blast _. My name's Keenan. That's Grayson. Babu Frick is producing the show today.
The joint is ready.
The joint is ready.
Oh man.
Yeah, good stuff. So real quickly, we want to give a shout out to our patrons and sponsor of the show. Sponsor is Jess, as always, big supporter of the show for a long time. We appreciate her. Always sending out positive vibes to both of them. And Joseph is our patron supporter.
Yes.
So both of them have been supporting us since
beginning.
Yes, pretty much since we launched the Patreon page, but they've been listening since before that. So
yeah,
really awesome. We appreciate them. We have a packed show, so we're not going to waste a ton of time.
Yes.
We're going to introduce some new segments that we're going to try out, and you guys let us know if you like it or not.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. So let's start the show with something that I'm going to kind of call, I guess, like, this isn't like a clever name at all, but kind of like guess that comic book movie. The first thing I think of is Pokemon. You know, like before a commercial break.
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah. So who's that comic book movie? So essentially what I'm going to do, and I may do this every week, or we can switch it up and you can come up with some movies. But I'm going to give 3 clues, or 3 facts about a movie, which are the clues. And Grayson is going to try to guess what movie I'm referencing.
Let's hope I don't fail miserably.
Yeah, let's hop into it. You guys feel free to play along as well. So first movie. If you get some of these, I'll be impressed.
Oh, God. Okay. Okay.
First movie made $668 million at the worldwide box office, but never got a proper sequel. You want another clue?
I'm just thinking on it. I'm trying to narrow it down.
So I have 3 clues for each one, so you can use them all if you want.
Oh, for each one. So wait, how many movies are there?
I have 3 movies, and each one has 3 clues.
But I can only get.
You can use as many as you want, but it'd just be impressive if you get it earlier.
So 668 million
for this movie. Yep, made $668 million at the worldwide box office, but never got a proper sequel.
All right.
Next clue.
Give me another clue.
An actor from this film has appeared in both a DC and MCU film.
Ooh. Oh God. Oh man, I'm choking here. Okay. All right.
Ready for another clue? This is the last clue, so this is kind of tough. This film contains a controversial ending.
Oh. Ugh. Okay, so never got a proper sequel. It has an actor from both.
So it made some good money, but didn't hit $1 billion. Made some good money, never got a sequel. An actor from the film has appeared in both a DC and MCU film. Or I should say DCEU and MCU film.
Oh, okay.
And contains a controversial.
So are you implying this is? I feel like this is another clue, but you probably can't say. But like, are you implying that it could be either a DCEU or a Batman v Superman? Why did I say that? Or an MCU film?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not like Fox or any of that.
No, none of that stuff.
Okay, that actually helps a lot.
Okay.
How many guesses am I getting?
You get 1 guess.
Oh God! All right. Never got a proper sequel, so let's think of all the DCEU films. 668 million. I mean, that's a lot, but not.
It's not crazy money.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not crazy money. I think I know. Maybe I know. But I'm like, what actor appeared in both?
If you can't think of it, then you probably have it wrong. Like if you can't think of the actor.
Then maybe that's not it. I was thinking Incredible Hulk.
No. Hold on. Before I give you the answer, why do you think that?
Because it never got a proper sequel, and it probably made about that much money.
That's a pretty good guess, except for
the only thing was the
ending.
actor. Oh, the controversial ending. Crap. Oh, that was I forgot about that. Dang it. Okay. What was it?
It's Man of Steel.
Oh my God. Man of Steel only made $668 million. You're kidding.
That's serious.
See, okay. See, I consider Batman v Superman a sequel to Man of Steel. So
yeah, I'm thinking of like Man of Steel 2.
Yeah,
that's kind of
okay.
like a proper sequel, you know. But
What's
yeah,
the controversial ending?
Him killing Zod.
Get over it, people. That's not controversial at all.
Yeah, it was a big deal though when it happened.
Yeah, I guess it was. All right, that was a good one. Throwing me for some loops there.
All right, next one.
Okay.
All right, I am one film in a trilogy. That's not a great clue, but work with it.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Although I'm pretty much universally known as the best film in the trilogy, I have the lowest box office results of all of the films in the trilogy.
All right. I feel like I've narrowed it down to a couple of trilogies.
Mm-hmm. Last one. This might give it away. Maybe.
Okay.
This film's main character was nearly recast with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, maybe I should have made that clue a little bit.
So
harder.
It was down to Winter Soldier or Spider-Man 2 for me. I was like, okay, one of the best in the trilogy, like Winter Soldier. Although that could have been debatable with Civil War, but then when you said he was almost recast, I was like, well, I mean, at the time, like John Krasinski almost played Captain America, but that's not exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Jake Gyllenhaal thing, dead giveaway. Yeah, if you said that the first one, I would have immediately been like Spider-Man 2.
I feel like so that whole rumor really came back around with Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio, because there was always rumors of that, but he kind of actually just confirmed that it was a thing.
Yeah.
During like a press tour or something like that.
Wasn't it? Speaking of Mysterio, did you post something the other day saying that Mysterio is underrated or overrated?
I just said he was disappointing.
Oh, he was disappointing. Okay, I wasn't sure who I saw post that. Really, I didn't know you thought he was disappointing. I still love Mysterio.
Yeah, he's cool.
I need to go get that movie
like
on Blu-ray.
when I think of you know, Oscar caliber actors playing a villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at something that, you know, Heath Ledger's done. I mean, I think of you know, giving a performance and making it not even just a performance, because his performance was fine with what he was supposed to do. It's just like you have an opportunity with an actor so big and so great to really bring some depth to a character. And, you know, he was basically his whole origin story was stupid. Like the whole being mad at Tony Stark.
I love it.
I think it's just kind of corny. I mean, like,
it is corny.
I'd rather just not even know his origin story, to be honest.
Wow.
And to have some sort of mystery there, pun intended.
You heard it here, folks. He hates Spider-Man Far From Home as much as The Last Jedi.
And he hates Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm just kidding. That's my favorite actor.
I was about to say he's your favorite actor.
That's probably why it's so disappointing to me. But
that does make sense. He's in my top like 5 or 6. But yeah. All right, let's get on to this next movie.
Next one. This one's gonna be tough. I must admit.
Okay.
All right. So, oh my god, I almost said the actual title of the movie. All right. This film was released in the early 2000s. This film's lead actor also appeared in 3 DCEU films.
Oh God. Okay. 3 DCEU films.
And last, you got it.
I think so. Go ahead and give me the last clue.
Jon Favreau had a role in this film before directing Iron Man.
Daredevil.
Yep, you got it.
Yep. I actually don't remember. I just remember loosely that Jon Favreau was in that movie. I've actually never seen Daredevil.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Interesting. Yeah, he played Foggy Nelson.
Yes, that's right. He did play Foggy. That is right. Man, good times.
I'm kind of curious to see how our listeners did with that.
Yeah.
They're probably yelling.
Yeah, dude, probably that first one, I'm going to get crucified.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. Especially because how much, unless we have some new listeners. Hi, everybody.
With how much you praise Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly. That I didn't think of that.
Yep.
I guess I was thinking MCU, and I just really thought Man of Steel made more money than that. I was sure it made almost $800 million or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool segment though. I like that.
Cool. All right, let's hop into our next segment, and then we're going to get into the news. This new segment that we're introducing is Absurd Headlines from the Week. So basically, I'm just going to go through some crazy headlines. We're not going to give any context to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically reading headlines that circulated through the news this week. And just
I have
give our
not
reaction.
heard these, by the way, at least unless I've seen them. But I'm very excited.
Honestly, I wish we did have a producer who could just do this stuff for us, so we could both react.
It'd be great.
Yeah,
hit us up.
Yeah. All right. So first headline: WB will be reportedly utilizing an artificial intelligence to decide what films to greenlight.
Oh my god. Oh, what?
So
what?
WB will have an AI designed, or some sort of algorithm, I'm assuming, designed to decide what films to go ahead and go through with production on.
Is this how far we've fallen?
This is it. So essentially, we're going to have an AI deciding what movies are going to get made because they can't do it themselves.
I just whoever came up with that headline, I don't know if I love you or hate you.
Yeah.
Because that is the stupidest thing.
This was a big thing. I think it was reported by one of the big ones, Hollywood Reporter or Variety or something like that.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, that was a big scoop. That's serious.
Wait, so is it real?
It's real. This is a real thing.
What the No.
I'm being dead serious.
Okay, man. Now I'm just concerned.
What if the whole time, when we went through that period of time when there was an announcement of every single DCEU movie possibly being made.
That's what it felt like.
Maybe that was the AI the whole time.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they prototyped it because they had Batgirl and Nightwing. You think they just put a bunch of DC characters' names in there and then they're in teams and stuff and they're what movie do we
Random
make?
Name generator.
They're King Shark, the movie. And I'm like, okay.
Yep. Pretty insane.
Man.
All right.
Yeah, that's whack.
Here's the next one. This is the craziest one I read all week. I think you probably agree. Obi-Wan's Kenobi Disney Plus series rumored to include the long-anticipated return of Jar Jar Binks with a beard.
I wish I could swear and just say how stupid that is, because that is absolutely ridiculous. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted, I was just like, who comes up with this stuff? Because that is, if it happens, it's a fat chance it happens. I
don't think there's a chance at all.
First of all, they confirmed in some book, they addressed what Jar Jar was doing, and he's some freaking clown, or he's some street performer or something now.
Good for him.
And I'm like, he's gonna show up on Tatooine and with a beard? How does that even work? None of his people have been shown to actually. Nope, Captain Tarple's had a mustache. Never mind.
I'll tell you why this is not going to happen. Disney doesn't even want to use the good stuff from the prequels.
Nope.
Why are they going to bring the worst thing to happen to the prequels back? Makes absolutely no sense.
The only stuff they've acknowledged really from the prequels is cloning in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Then obviously, Luke and Anakin's lightsaber being passed to Rey, but that was an original trilogy thing before it was a prequel thing.
Sure.
Last Jedi mentioned Sidious, which is is that really okay, that's not really a prequel thing. And then The Rise of Skywalker, they went all out. They went with the battle droids, and there's a lot of starfighters from the prequels and all of that. And then Hayden Christensen coming back to voice Anakin. He wasn't actually in the movie, and Mace Windu and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it. That has been the extent of prequel stuff. At least in the main trilogy. There was some in Rogue One and everything. Yeah, no, there's no freaking way they're gonna they wouldn't touch Jar Jar with a 10-foot pole. That's stupid, man.
It's insane. That's the one thing that I feel like an outlet could make a killing off of in terms of clicks.
Oh, dude, I saw this and I was like, this is gonna get so many clicks because so many people are going to believe it. And if you believe it, I'm just don't.
Yeah, essentially headlines are kind of constructed in terms of not even what's going to get the most clicks, but what's going to get the most retweets.
Yes, reactions out of people, what can trend, all that stuff.
Yep. Last headline. Joker makeup team reveals how difficult working with Joaquin Phoenix was. Quote, we would bribe him with crackers, unquote.
What? Is he like Boo from Monsters, Inc.? What is he?
They let a trail.
Like, come here,
like,
Joaquin.
you need to get your makeup done, and they'll just lead a trail.
He's like, no.
From his trailer to the makeup room.
We have goldfish, Joaquin. He's like, goldfish? He's like, with the goldfish, you can do makeup. He's like, okay.
We would bribe him with crackers.
I just wish that was true, to be honest. I just think that would be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's crazy. I kind of, in a way, I kind of hope that there is a little bit of truth to that.
Like, I hope there was just one instance where he was just like, he was so mad, and they're just kind of they're in I guess they're just blowing up the scenario. There was one time where he was like jokingly like, no, I don't want the makeup, and then they gave him like some saltines or something, and he was like, haha, you guys can do it now, and then that's what they got out of that. But It would be really funny if it was like literally like every time they had to give him actual crackers. That's great. That is just
insane.
Pure 100% joy.
It's funny. I think we're going to keep doing this segment because every week you and I are always sharing absurd headlines.
Yes.
And we're just laughing at them.
It I was like,
ridiculous. There's always some sort of content in that. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for that segment. And if you guys like it, just let us know. We'll keep doing it.
Yeah, when we're choosing our show notes, I mean, it's just a plethora of it. So I think that's one that definitely should stay. So I hope you guys like
we
that.
Go through, we're like, what do we need to talk about this week? What's in the news? And then we go look at the news and we're like, oh my gosh, like we just have to laugh.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So there's a new Morbius trailer. We're going to talk about that in a second. Everyone's talking about that right now. But you and I over the weekend, we both individually saw 1917. We wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yes, dude.
Because I'll just say real quick, is this considered it's considered a 2019 movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely, it's for some reason it's considered a 2019 movie because it had a lot of early release screenings and all of the Oscar nominations came out today, and 1917 is nominated for a lot of them. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put my money and say that I'd have to go back and look at a list of all the movies that came out in 2019.
Yeah.
And God bless you, Avengers Endgame, but 1917, holy freaking crap! This movie was insanely good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you felt the same way because we haven't really talked about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really tied with number one for me. I think you and I.
Other number one?
Yeah, so Knives Out's right now.
Knives Out. Okay.
Yeah, it's been my number one pretty much for a while now, but it's kind of right up there. I don't really know which one to choose. I think 1917 is just so fresh on my mind. But we should kind of say that you and I, we both love films outside of comic book movies, and this is something that we've been consistent on this on the podcast. If we see a good movie that we liked, we talk about it on here, even though we're a comic podcast, just because we're a fan of film. But whenever we're talking about our favorite films, of the year, we kind of just set aside comic book movies for the most part. Mm-hmm. Not that
there's
they're
a lot of dead spots in the year, or sometimes they're just not news.
I mean,
it's.
We can. I sometimes I kind of separate the comic book movies. If I'm being completely honest, the most enjoyable experience I had at the movie theaters was probably it's Endgame or Rise of Skywalker. That's the most happy I've been watching a movie, and I love those movies. And sometimes I just have to put them aside and when we're kind of just talking about films that came out this year.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with this one. So just before I say it's my number one and everything, obviously Endgame and Rise of Skywalker, those those are the films I loved more than anything.
We're bound to love those because it's it's kind of not that we have to love them because we definitely critique them, but we kind of put them in a separate league because it's it really has become this whole separate kind of culture
for sure
with that. And sometimes, like, I think we say this a lot, like we just want to go to the movies and like have a good time and it not be a comic book
it's
movie
like a palate cleanser.
Yes, it's so that is well put.
It's just refreshing sometimes.
I mean, and it's been great too, because like recently, me and you have seen at least some together and some not. At least with 1917, but we've seen a lot of like non-comic book movies, and we've just kind of been like going to just see all these movies. I think, by the way, so you have Regal Unlimited. Should I get it? Because I. Like, dude, how helpful has it been for you
this season? So like the first couple months that I had it, there were not really many movies that I was excited to see. Like I like live pretty far from our theater, so sometimes I have to debate. I'm like, do I really want to drive 30 minutes to get to the movie theater, right? And then sit through 30 minutes of previews and then watch a 2-hour movie and then drive 30 more minutes back. I mean, like, that's a lot of time. So
yeah, it takes a big chunk out of your day for sure.
Exactly. So I have to really want to see the movie. Now that kind of like November, December, January's hit, there's so many movies that I want to see. And it's been very helpful because I saw Rise of Skywalker like 3 times, and
that's the thing that's so great about it is like not only are you seeing movies that you may not see normally because you have to pay that extra price for tickets, but I mean this month alone, like I've already seen well, not this month, I guess last month. I mean, I saw quite a bit of movies. I saw Rise of Skywalker twice, and I saw Uncut Gems. That's 3 movies right there, and I mean that I paid more for that than what I would have paid for that like Regal Unlimited thing. Yep. And there's a lot of movies actually like that are coming out this month and next month that I'm like, yes, there's Bad Boys that comes out next week. One movie that I was genuinely surprised with, that I thought was like not expecting to be excited about because I had no idea it was being made, is that Invisible Man movie. Yeah, that looks cool. I saw that, I was like, whoa, what? All right, cool. And so yeah, kind of whole side topic thing, but I think I'm going to cash in and get that. Plus, because you get 10% off concessions, I think. So like, yeah, you get like random stuff all the time, like in your inbox, or like there'll be like, here's a free popcorn or whatever. Really? That's great. Okay, so cool. I think it's kind of worth it to have it. Yeah. Plus, I want to go see 1917 again because how much I loved it. Like, I mean, first of all, so kind of like going back into that, and we won't talk about it for too much long because we do have a lot more to talk about. But I mean, Roger Deakins literally can do no wrong. If you don't know Roger Deakins, he's like one of the best cinematographers in Hollywood. He's done some of my favorite films, including, or he does all of Denis Villeneuve's films, or at least most of them. So I think he did. Did he do Arrival? I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did Arrival. He did Blade Runner 2049, which is literally like one of my favorite movies of all freaking time. And then he did 1917. And if you don't know about 1917, like other than it being a World War I movie, like the movie is shot to be made like it is one continuous take. Yep. Which obviously it's not. Like they use some camera trickery to you can see some. I could see it. You can see some hidden CG cuts or things, or like. Or just kind of like blackouts or cutaways that like there's clearly like them going to a different thing. But I mean, they maintain the illusion, and there's some shots that I'm just like, how in the freaking world did they do that shot? Like, it's just, I can't wait to see I hope there's a director's commentary for this, and I'm really excited to see the behind the scenes just because how much more I've gotten into filmmaking. Yeah. And that, like, this movie was like, it is a filmmakers heaven, man. Yeah, like, if you're a fan of cinema and just like if you're an aspiring filmmaker, it's like a perfect film to study because it has everything. You can appreciate it for, like you said, the cinematography. You can appreciate it for the script, for the acting. Yes, great acting. I don't remember the name of the lead, and I'm sure I could look it up right now. I've never really seen him in anything. But I mean, I was joking like this in like my head, but like pretty much every famous British man is in this movie, or at least there's a lot of people. For George, just a cameo. I believe it's George McKay is his name. I've never seen this actor before, but he did such a great job. There's moments that I am just like about to weep because of how great of a job he did. So, and actually, when I went to go see this movie, I didn't tell you this. So, you invited me the night before, and that was when I had gotten really sick.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep, and I was like, I just can't. And I don't think you ended up seeing it
that
that night anyway. And then the next day, some of my friends and I decided to go out, and I was still pretty sick. And so we planned to go see it at 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
And we were going to go see it at 1 o'clock and then get some food afterwards, hang out maybe at the mall or whatever, and then go home.
Mm-hmm.
But we get there, not expecting it to be a huge crowd at all, you know? Like, I mean, I think this is, like, Spies in Disguise had just come out, and so I was like, oh, there's going to be a ton of kids at the theaters going to see that. Go in there, and by the way, I'd already invited 2 friends, and they were already in the theater. They drove separately. So it was me, 2 other people, and then 3 friends that one of them had invited. So in total, there was 8 of us. 2 were already in the theater. I go up to the concession thing to get your tickets, and I'm like, I just need 1 student for 1917. She's like, yeah, so it's sold out at 1. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, oh, it's sold out? And I'm like, okay, well, my friend's telling me that there's like an entire thing of open seats in the front. Like, are you sure? And then the manager came in and he's like, yeah, like we like officially are not allowed to sell you tickets because it is sold out, and like there's swap-ins and stuff. I wasn't like mad about it or anything. I wasn't like trying to be like just some angry customer. So I was like, oh wow, okay. And so then I texted my friend and I was like, listen, man, it's sold out. Like, we can't get into the theater. And he was like, what? No way. And so him and his roommate just watched the movie. We went to Cracker Barrel to get food because we were all hungry, and we bought tickets to see it at 4 o'clock. When we came back at 4 o'clock, the theater was packed, man. Like, the lines were so long. And we got into the theater, it was like filled to the brim for the 4 o'clock showing.
So we should say, like, there may be people listening to this and you're like, yeah, it's always like that at the movie theater. Not where we live, because we're in just such a small town. Usually, we can go see Rise of Skywalker, and there may be like 4 people in the theater. Like, that's how small our town is. So
when we saw Uncut Gems, there was like 3 other people in the theater. I walked in and I was the only one there, and then a few people trickled in.
Yep. That's what's insane about that. So you saw it. What day did you see it? Saturday?
I saw it Saturday.
Okay, right. So I saw it Sunday night, which was, I guess, yesterday, last night. Yeah. And my theater was packed as well on a Sunday night.
Really? So yours was packed too?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's awesome. Like, I was shocked.
Yeah, that's great though, because I mean, like, I like when, you know, films other than, I mean, I remember when I went to see Endgame for the second time. Yeah. Literally every theater was playing Endgame, like, and every single parking spot was filled, and like that's the biggest it gets for movies.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that opening weekend for like movies like that. But even movies like Spider-Man Far From Home and things like that, like, were not that packed. No. And you're going to compare 1917 to the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, you know? Yeah. And you're going to immediately think, oh yeah, that, like, Spider-Man's going to sell out, but like it didn't, like, compared to 1917. So that's really great. So let that alone be a testament to how enjoyable this film is from every little aspect. I will say there is one thing, and when we'll wrap it up and get on to the next thing, is like there's a few times that it feels a little fast, but I also think that's kind of intended that way. Yeah. Where it's supposed to, like, you know, time is actually passing faster than you think it is. And so it's a really cool, like, artistic element, and I think they show it in some pretty neat ways. So yeah, overall, like, I mean, I'm getting this blue. Like, I'm going to probably actually get this on 4K. Like, like a steelbook. Oh, I hope they have the steelbook.
They definitely will.
I'm gonna get that day one. Also, I'm gonna get the Rise of Skywalker steelbook. I think you posted that on social media.
Dude. That one looks amazing.
It's cool because I remember it leaked a while back, and it had Kylo in the front. And you were like, I wonder. This was before the movie came out, and you were like, I wonder what this means. And then you flip it on like the other side, and it shows Rey. And I love those double-sided ones where it's like a continuous thing. Super cool.
I think that the Last Jedi Steelbook was really, really good as well. This one is a little bit better. And then you look at the Force Awakens Steelbook and you're like, that sucks. Like, it doesn't even match, you know, the rest of the trilogy, I think.
Yeah, I have do you have the Force Awakens Steelbook?
I did, and then I sold it because I just didn't really care for it. It's just Kylo Ren, like, shiny metallic covers, like, not really that artistic.
And Phasma on the back.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Small side story. I promise we're going to get into Morbius, and we're going to end it. Like, you got to cut me off when I'm done with this story, all right?
Go.
Don't say anything else. So this past weekend, I have this friend, and he's like, he's kind of more of like a traditional Star Wars fan in the sense that like he was very unhappy with The Last Jedi and doesn't really like Disney Star Wars and things like that. So, but I'm at this point, I'm super used to it, and he's not like he's an uncivil person. That's just what he thinks, and I'm like, you know what, that's fine. He's still my friend. So he's telling me how much he like loves Boba Fett, and I'm like, and at first I started off and I'm like, dude, Boba Fett sucks. Like, Boba Fett just died by a blind man. Like, he got hit in the back by a blind man and fell and got eaten alive. I'm like, Boba Fett is not cool. And by the way, I genuinely believe that. Like, allegedly, but still, like, what else did he freaking do in those movies? What did he do in Empire Strikes Back? He followed them in a ship. He didn't shoot I think he shot his blaster once, and he didn't hit anything. So just show me the evidence where Boba Fett is cool. I don't want to hear Clone Wars because he's still a little punk in that anyway. So then I started off with that, and I told him I was like, yeah, like Boba Fett is like the Phasma or the Darth Maul of their respective trilogies, where like they kind of just die like chumps, and they look really cool. Like Darth Maul looks sick, double-bladed lightsaber, tattoos, horns, all black robes, awesome. Dies like a chump. Boba Fett, oh man, this super guy in cool Mandalorian armor with this awesome ship that sounds like a muscle car, and he like takes Han Solo, gets hit in the back, and dies like a total chump. Captain Phasma, whatever, and he's like, dude, Captain Phasma is not, like, she doesn't look cool at all. Then, so I started, what I did is I'm like, first of all, I disagreed that he thought that, like, Captain Phasma didn't look cool. Like, at least she looks cool, but she's not a good character. Like, she dies like an idiot. Sorry. and so then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like joke around with him and make him think that like Phasma is my favorite character of all time. And so I'm like, dude, Captain Phasma is great because she like has the Force and she's killed 117 Jedi and like all of this stuff. And he's like, dude, are you being serious right now? And I'm like, 100%. Captain Phasma is the greatest character ever. And he was like, his mind was blown, man. And eventually, like, I did this for an entire day until the next day I'm like, dude, I'm just messing with you, man. Captain Phasma is not that cool. But then what was funny is I finally got him to admit that he was like, okay, Captain Phasma does look pretty cool.
Exactly.
So I did that entire time, and I was like, you know what? I see this as an absolute win. Anyway, that's my story. Let's get on to the news because we're like 36 minutes in. God.
All right. I won't add to that. Morbius. The trailer came out. Before the trailer came out yesterday, there was a still from the trailer that Sony decided to put out, showing Jared Leto in an alley with a screenshot of Spider-Man PS4 on a brick wall in the Raimi suit.
Oh, good job, Sony.
You know what I was thinking when I saw that? I was like, oh man, people are already making memes out of this. And then I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wait, this is real? So I had to look it up. And I was like, oh, this is actually a still. Like, I thought somebody was making a meme out of it. Nope. Essentially what they did was they took a screenshot of when Insomniac released the Sam Raimi suit for Spider-Man PS4. They took the screenshot of it, and then they did like a 180 flip. Or not a 180 flip horizontally.
And painted out the background.
Yeah.
And that was it. So it's essentially like a graffiti on the wall of just Spider-Man PS4, Sam Raimi suit, doing the exact same pose and everything. Yeah. And then it just says murderer over the top of it. Yep. Or murder or whatever. When I saw that, I was like, murder? What? I was like, why Tobey Maguire? Like, I mean, he did murder that guy in Spider-Man 1. But I saw that, and so people are like, oh, it's in the Raimi universe. Tobey Maguire, he's coming back. And I'm like, no, I think it's just that someone got lazy at Sony.
Sony being Sony, they reuse stuff all the time.
Yeah, man.
For marketing.
So, but yeah, other than that thing, and we'll get to the major thing at the end, but I mean, so for some little history, me and you have never wanted this movie to ever happen, ever. Yeah. And when we heard, like, especially when we saw Venom, Venom is a bad movie, we were like, oh God, why Morbius? You know? Yeah. Like, I already had some guys in my group chat be like, dude, I don't know who Morbius is, but this movie looks cool. And I'm like, well, interesting. I mean, I'm like, Sony's getting their wish, I guess.
Call them out by name. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I could, honestly. But I'm not going to. But yeah, like, and I was like, yeah, Morbius is like this Some people would say he's A-list. I don't think he's A-list at all. I think
Jared
he's
Leto?
probably no. Morbius, Spider-Man villain.
Okay.
I would say he's probably a B or C-list villain. I mean, he gets pretty interesting later on. And I think he kind of becomes more of an anti-hero. Surprise, surprise, Spider-Man villain, anti-hero. But yeah, he's not a household name. And so, but then seeing this trailer, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate it.
You know, I was waiting for you to roast it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna say this. I was gonna say like I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it reminds me though. The things is like it reminds me of when the first Venom trailer happened,
Yes,
where
absolutely.
I'm like, oh, that actually doesn't look half that bad, and I didn't want Venom to happen either. I thought Venom not being in the MCU was kind of a waste. However, this trailer kind of changes some things, and so. But seeing this, I was like, honestly, this doesn't look too bad. I will say Morbius looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Sony's doing a great job with the actual designs and keeping them faithful to whatever, they're doing.
Yeah, you can't knock Venom's design. Venom's design's amazing.
You compare Venom in the Venom movie versus Spider-Man 3, and it's it's night and day.
Can't compare those. Yeah, I agree. The trailer was it was okay. I feel like it kind of was checking off the box list of things that Sony does for these movies. In a way, it felt. Even though I thought the trailer was fine, it felt like I was getting another Venom movie.
Yeah,
I just felt like it was still within that same tone.
Oh, definitely. It feels like you remember how Universal was going to make this monster universe. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
This is. It
Perfect,
feels like
perfect
Sony
comparison.
trying to do a monster cinematic universe, but with Spider-Man villains, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer's fine and everything like that. Actually, it sucks because lately Jared Leto's just really been down in terms of picking his roles. But I actually like Jared Leto as an actor.
He's been flaming some people on Twitter, man. Have you seen any of the screenshots he's about him? Just people giving him crap for Suicide Squad. He goes off on people.
I don't know what is his fault, so I won't blame him. A lot of it's a director's choice or studio's choice or whatever. But he has talent.
A documentary for that. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's super talented.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm I much prefer see this than a solo Joker movie of his.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I think I probably would like this trailer even a little bit more if it wasn't for the ending.
Yes,
because it distracts you.
If you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, click off, I guess now, or wait until I don't know a couple minutes. We'll maybe put a timestamp in the description if you guys care that much, because it really is a spoiler thing. The one thing that made this trailer that big is 3, 2, 1. Michael Keaton as Vulture.
Let's say this. It feels like what was a really cool moment when we saw Spider-Man: Homecoming. What was it, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Man, almost 3 years ago. Oh my God.
What was a really cool moment was when Aaron Davis. Yeah. Aaron Davis
talks about his nephew.
Yeah, he talks about his nephew, and you and I both looked at each other and we were like, "Oh my God, Miles Morales!"
Yeah.
And that was a really cool moment. It's it felt like if they came out with a Spider-Man Homecoming trailer and then put that at the end of a trailer, that's what that felt like.
So
you took
weird.
away.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say I didn't hate it, but I was just oh, this is them solidifying okay, yeah, this is happening. He's in the. Is it well?
Let's just get down to it.
I'm
do you think this is a separate universe?
No.
You think it's actually connected?
I think it's actually connected to the MCU.
I mean, that's fair. I originally I was like, okay, so what they're gonna do is pretend this is an alternate universe with the same characters and same actors. I was like,
that's what I thought as well.
But then there was a whole shot of Vulture in his prison suit, the same exact one that he was in when Spider-Man: Homecoming ended. Yeah. And I was like, this is connected. Sony. Mm-hmm. This was the big thing, I think.
Oh, and also the one thing that like helps it is in the trailer it says from the people who made Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm like, oh wow, okay, way to push it, guys. Like,
yeah, they're like from the studio that brought you, and I'm like, really? Did you?
Yeah.
I'm like, you paid for it.
Yeah, I don't freaking know. I mean, I'm not mad about it being connected because I'm like, okay, maybe inevitably something can happen with Spider-Man, but I just don't want to keep on incentivizing Sony to make these movies because, I mean, my expectations for Morbius are probably going to be really low. I am hoping that I will like the movie because, to be honest, I think it's a really interesting story, but it's also a little cliche, like a cliche vampire movie, I guess.
Here's what's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's put aside Venom 1 because that movie's garbage.
Yep.
Let's say Venom came out before Spider-Verse, right? Yeah, it did.
Yeah, about 2 months before.
Let's say after Spider-Verse and the success of Spider-Verse, Sony was just kind of like, we can actually make good Spider-Man related movies, like if we really try. So obviously they decided to go with a different direction in terms of director for Venom 2. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that was Tom Hardy's influence, but let's say that, Morbius, like we both said, we think that the trailer looks fine. Let's say this ends up being a pretty decent movie. Let's say Venom 2 improves upon, the
fingers crossed.
Yeah, the first story or the first film. And then what you have is they're inevitably going to bring in Tom Holland for one of these movies. I don't know which one it is. Probably Venom.
They got Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
So maybe they do have something. I mean, not something that we would prefer, but maybe there's, something there that's
it's definitely something
decent
for them to make money. I mean, that's the whole point of it, for sure. And I hope if they collaborate with Marvel, Marvel Disney, then hopefully it will improve it in some capacity. I just feel like it's just a waste. But I know they don't have rights to anything. But I just would rather them use this money for more animated stuff.
Agreed.
That's really what I want. You could give me a spinoff literally for probably every single character in Spider-Verse, and honestly, I would prefer that a billion times over the villains live action. You gave me a Spider-Gwen movie, freaking sold. I'm in the theater day one. Give me Spider-Man War. Yep, I'm there. Give me Spider-Ham. Honestly, I'd still go see it.
It's pretty interesting. So the animated stuff, it felt like, to me, I was like, oh, Sony probably was like, we're going to make this animated movie, but obviously it didn't feel like the studio was really involved in that. It felt like they were just like, you go ahead and go make your, animated movie or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem like they really cared about the outcome of that. And then it, it really surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite movies from 2018.
For Sony, at the end of the day, no matter how much we egg them on about going for the whole corporate side of things, it's just they're going to do what's best in the interest of making money, using that Spider-Man license to make as much money as they can until maybe one day they sell it. But I mean, it's going to be a while because Venom made a lot of money, and Spider-Verse, I don't remember what the budget was for making that that animated movie, and I just don't know how much it profited in that, and that's why they are probably going to do the live action ones because the profit is so much higher.
I think I think that the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie is going to come pretty soon. I just have this feeling.
So Spider-Verse was a $90 million budget.
It made what, $400?
$375.5 million. So roughly
a good profit.
So it's a good profit, but I mean, then let's compare it to Venom. Let's see how much more they profited. So Venom, the film's let's see. How well did Venom do at the box office?
It made over $1 billion.
Yeah. So it was $100 million. So they essentially $100 million budget, and so they essentially, at least that's what according to the Wikipedia. I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah.
It says budget 100 to 116 million. Box office. Well, it says the box office is 856 million.
No, it hit $1 billion.
It did hit $1 billion. I remember it did. So I'm just, you compare that and like, yes, Spider-Verse did make a good profit, but that is because animated movies always make so much less money.
Sure.
So if you put those to Sony, they don't care how bad or good the movie is. Spider-Verse is like probably one of the greatest animated movies of all time. They would rather take the money over the quality any day. I guarantee it. Puts more money in the pockets. And I mean, I can't fault them because, I mean, money is money. But at the same time, like, as the fans, we want to see movies like Spider-Verse rather than Venom. But then again, I've also just been told that I'm in the vocal minority of Venom being a bad movie, or like even people that I think would hate that movie, they're like, yeah, I actually enjoyed Venom quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
I'm always surprised by who likes it.
Right. Same here.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to be like a little bit optimistic because I really was expecting to hate this trailer. It sucks that I went in with that mindset, but yeah, I mean, I was a little bit surprised. Definitely surprised by the ending.
When the ending was like, whoa, what?
Yeah. And then we got Andy Serkis doing Venom 2, so...
Yeah. I mean, I think we've both said in the past that we're actually far more excited for Venom 2 just because of Andy Serkis being there. So yeah.
Definitely. Both of those coming this year.
Really?
Yeah, both those movies come this year.
So when does Morbius come out?
I think it's over the summer.
Okay, that makes sense then why they put the trailer out this early.
Yeah, so...
Probably be a couple more months when we'll get a Venom trailer.
Yeah, I think Venom is near the end of the year.
Yeah.
October, November-ish.
They'll probably keep it around the same time frame, so.
Yeah. So that's what we thought about Morbius. We got a couple things that we got to run through before the end of the show. We're running out of time, but
yes, we are.
Big news topic over the week was that Scott Derrickson and Marvel Studios decided to part ways over creative differences. Yeah. I mean, we both see eye to eye on almost everything on this episode. This is such a bummer.
This really is. So I was taking a nap when this happened, and like my best friend, who Doctor Strange is his favorite character, and he sent that to me, and like, when you wake up from a nap or sleeping, you kind of not everything registers as much. So he sent
you don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and so like he sent me that, and I was like, dang, that sucks. And then like I saw it the next day again, and I was like, crap, this really sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very upset because Scott Derrickson, first of all, I think I really like him just as a person. Some people may not see that, but like I love his creative vision, and I think that's what makes him so perfect. And when I heard that, Doctor Strange 2 was going to have horror elements, they've since kind of confirmed that like it's not going to be a horror movie, but it's going to have horror elements. Like, that fits so perfectly with Doctor Strange. And he is staying on as an executive producer, I believe. But it just sucks, man. Like, I was so, like, that was the number one movie I was excited for in this entire new phase, and I don't know who they're going to get to direct it. I really hope I wish it was a James Gunn thing, but because he wasn't fired, he just left on his own accord. It probably won't happen. So yeah, we're both pretty upset about this because we're huge Doctor Strange fans. Like, we love that movie and the character in general.
It's so underrated, and one of my favorite things about the first one is that it kind of did play with like the mind in terms of like horror a little bit.
Super
when you
cool
explore
visuals.
When you explore the multiverse. Right. I think about those hands coming out of his pupil.
When I saw that happen in the first time in theaters, I was like laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so trippy. This is what it's like to be on acid."
And I was thank you, Scott Derrickson, for that experience. So yeah, over I think, what was it, San Diego Comic-Con, they announced this film, and Scott Derrickson was out on stage, and he said it was going to be the first horror film, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I was like, this is awesome. This is going to be something so new for the MCU. You're getting a guy who is a horror director to take this character and kind of push the limits.
Correct?
No, he did Sinister.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's James Wan, I think.
Right.
But yeah, he's a well-known, well-respected horror director. You're really letting him. In my mind, when they announced that, or he announced it was going to be the first like horror movie, I was like, oh, they're really going to do something different for this phase. Yeah, I was like, they're going to let people, kind of go out there. And then there was the announcement of Blade, and I was like getting excited for this phase.
Oh man, Blade!
I don't know if you remember, but after Scott Derrickson said it was going to be like a horror film, someone in the crowd said, "Make it rated R," and Kevin Feige like stepped up and he's like, "No, it'll be PG-13 and you're gonna like it."
He said that?
Yeah. He's like, it'll
man.
be PG-13 and you'll like it, or something like that.
That's actually really funny. I know that may upset some people, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I find that really funny because it's the truth.
It is the truth. Yeah. We know it.
It always is. It's like, well, it's not rated R, but guess what? We're still going to enjoy it no matter
Exactly.
what. Plus, I just think that now that there's such a big fan base for Doctor Strange, like, there's no way they're going to make that rated R.
I'm just waiting for like the scoop to come out from the Hollywood Reporters saying that Scott Derrickson's directing like Justice League Dark or something like that.
Yep.
Swamp
Honestly,
Thing
I can
or
see
something.
that. Man, dude, give him Constantine. I'd be down with that.
Yep.
I like Constantine as a comic book character. I've never seen the Keanu Reeves version.
Yeah.
I've heard people say it's really bad, but some people
Yeah.
kind of like it. I would love if they got him back. If maybe he has creative differences with that, get him for Ghost Rider, man.
Yeah.
Give me Ghost Rider. I want Ghost Rider. Like, yeah. I don't know.
It's a bummer. It's just
it really
a bummer.
is. It sucks, man.
Let's
Best
get
luck
into
to
some
Scott
quick
Derrickson,
things.
whatever he's doing in the future.
Yeah.
We're here for you. But yeah, let's get into the last things.
Real quick, Joker has 11 Oscar nominations. Big surprise, I think.
That's not a lot at all.
No, I was expecting 20.
I mean, it's pretty much like almost every category.
My favorite thing in the world right now is just to see people react on Twitter being upset that a comic book movie has that many Oscar noms.
You know what I'm more upset about? That they didn't give Logan nominations 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. By the way, random thing about Oscar nominations. We're in agreement that like Black Panther should not have been nominated for Best Picture, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Best score?
Black Panther is
Yes.
a great movie, but yeah, it should not have been nominated for an Academy. But I think Joker has, at least for Joaquin Phoenix. So let me. Do you know which categories it was for? Like a full list.
I had it. So it's Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Score, Best Costume, Best Makeup, Best Actor, Best editing.
I mean, yeah, I could see it.
It pretty much went through almost everything that you can possibly nominate a film for.
Pretty much the only thing it's not is in like supporting actors or actresses, because there's not really any standouts in that movie.
Yeah.
They're all justified though. I hope at the very least I could see the best score winning, because it's a really great score. Joker has a very haunting and kind of disturbing score, and I think we've talked about that before. I could see Joaquin Phoenix winning for best lead, no doubt about it.
I don't think he will, but I won't say it won't happen.
If it happens, I'm not going to be upset. So yeah, it's interesting though that we're kind of also. I was talking to a friend about this. Like, not only are not a lot more comic book movies, but like they are becoming more accepting of that. But also with these Netflix originals, like you look at, there's a lot of Netflix originals that were nominated this year, especially for like
Marriage Story,
and The Irishman. So
yeah,
it's an interesting time like for film, but
things are changing.
Yep,
and people don't want it to change, but it is what it is. I'm happy for Joker. I love the movie, so
yeah,
that's what I'll say about that. Yeah, I did.
I'm fine with it.
And then there was a new Birds of Prey trailer. Don't have to spend a lot of time on that. Basically looks like Suicide Squad 2.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really want to talk much about it because I was just so like meh.
Yeah.
Just other than it, like, I'm just God. Yeah, I don't actually have any words to say. I thought I was gonna say something. I don't. Let's just move on.
It literally just looks like Suicide Squad 2.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why is it? It's just it feels like it all over again, man.
Yeah.
I'm right back in August of 2016, sitting. I'm gonna sit in that theater. I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna cry.
Those were dark times.
Well, actually, it was a great time. I'm not gonna. The time before Suicide Squad coming out was a great time
Because like BVS came out and everybody was like screaming at each other.
They're wrong. Okay, Batman versus Superman.
I don't think that they were wrong because it took months before we got to see that extended cut. And that's when things kind of changed, I think.
See, I like the theatrical version too. So.
Nah. No, I mean, like, there was parts that I loved, but I was like, the story is like messed up. I was like, there's things missing in the story.
Out of whack. Yeah, the Ultimate Cut kind of saved that, but I mean, I was still like pretty excited because of Justice League and then Suicide Squad. Like, I remember the trailer that they had with the Bohemian Rhapsody playing.
Yep.
Still one of the best trailers that DC has ever put out. And I remember I was like, I'm so excited for this movie.
Yep.
And then, yeah. Different times.
New Mutants trailer. What'd you think?
I didn't think it looked that bad.
I didn't like it.
Lie. I watched it. The only thing that I hated was that whole action scene at the end. I'm like, I could have done without that. Because I actually really like the idea of it being kind of like a horror, weird kind of movie. It kind of feels like The Shining, but like meets X-Men. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. But I know it's not going to be good because it's taken this. Well, it's not the movie's fault per se. It's like, it's just with the whole deal and everything.
It's been a victim of like studio interference with negotiations and.
I mean, if I get Regal Unlimited, like, I'm going to see it. Like, I don't care. Like,
We still haven't seen Dark Phoenix. That blows my mind.
I don't want to talk about it.
You haven't even seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I was at work one day, and there was a guy, he was sitting on his laptop, and I'm like, what are you watching? He goes, Dark Phoenix. And I'm like, okay. And I just like went around the corner and I started reading. I'm like, I don't want to
tell on him.
I could sit here and watch it with him, or I could just read Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter it is.
I think this trailer, I like the idea of like a comic book movie being a horror movie because I just said that. But I felt like this, even though it does have that, it felt like a very cliche horror movie in terms of the way that the trailer was cut. Sorry, it was like, it was like, quiet moment here, jump scare.
Yeah,
and it's just like
I will say the coolest like visual is like the faces coming out of the walls. Mm-hmm. I think that's I still really like that visual. But
I think the cast is great though.
Yeah, I was about to say the cast. That's probably the thing that has most going for it is the. I mean, I don't. There's Charlie Heaton and then the girl from like Anna Taylor-Joy from Split and Macy Williams from Game of Thrones. Yeah,
I mean, I
cool.
like it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The first trailer for that came out around this time that the second trailer for The Last Jedi came out.
Yes. Dude, October 2017. I remember I woke up. So I was spending the night. Yeah, I was spending the night with Cole. Cole had visited one of my friends, and dude, this was so long ago. I'm like, oh my god, like it has been over 2 years since that trailer came out. It was supposed to come out the next year, and I remember when I saw that trailer,
it was like
April
or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh man, how time flies.
It's pretty insane. Like I remember staying up until 3 a.m. to watch that and do like reaction video, and I was like, that looks cool. Yeah, I did one on my like old YouTube channel.
I'm gonna find it.
Dig it up. Actually, it was like around the time that the Last Jedi trailer came out, and I remember like just being so hyped on that, and then the trailer for that came out, and it was interesting time.
We lived through it all.
Yeah, what young kids we were. So that's pretty much all the news that we needed to talk about this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, feel free to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at comicblast_. You can find our Patreon page. Just search for Comic Blast on Patreon. And if you want to support the show, you can do so there. We also have a YouTube channel. Just search for Comic Blast on YouTube, and you can find us there. Anything else I need to add?
We're bringing it back, boys.